I'm at the Moldovița Monastery, one of the most beautiful and complete from the north of Romania, from the region of Bucovina. I invite you to enter with me to show you a couple of things. The monastery was built in 1535 by one of the sons of Stephen the Great, the most important ruler of Moldova and in the same time the most important ruler in the Romanian history. Petru Rareș built it in 1535 in the place replacing actually a first church and monastery built here by one of his ancestors, Alexandru cel Bun, also the voivod, the Dominus Deus of Moldova. The church have a very specific architecture for this area of Moldova, of Bucovina, and it's painted on the exterior and on the interior too. It have a tower, which indicates the fact that the church was built by a prince, not by a normal noble. And the tower, it stays on an octagon. You can see part of the corners of the octagon. The octagon, the symbol of the octagon, it's the immortality, because are the 7 days of the creation and the 8th day of the resurrection. Here, between the buttresses, you can see this painting when I'm focusing right now. It represents the union between the church on heaven and the church on earth. Starting from the top, you can see painted the archangels right under the roof, and then the apostles. On the third line from the top are the apostles. The first line are the prophets. The second one are the apostles. Here, this is the line with the apostles. Beneath the apostles, the other two lines to the ground are represented the priests and the hermits, and the buttresses are sustaining the entire construction of the church. Here we have another composition, which is a square, a blue square with two windows in the middle, representing the genealogical tree of Jesus Christ. And you can see right near the window here, it's a man which is laid down on the ground, and from him on the vertical are going all the ancestors of Jesus Christ. Here in a red coat, it's Virgin Mary, and above all is Jesus Christ. The windows are Gothic. To the left side of the genealogical tree of Christ are images from the Old Testament, and from here, from the New Testament to the right side, you can see here in the middle Virgin Mary in the cave near baby Jesus. The windows are Gothic because it's the influence of the Gothic in here, and here around of these two windows are images from the life of Virgin Mary. Here we have the moment from the life of Virgin Mary, starting from the top with the Annunciation. Then she goes to meet her cousin. Then here on the horses are the three kings which are coming to greet the born of Jesus, which is represented here. You can see Maria lay down. And then the crucifixion of his son, his resurrection. And here beneath is the siege of Constantinople, which is attacked from the sea to the left and from the ground to the right. And it's a warning for the people from the west of Europe that if they will not help Moldova to resist in front of the pagans, they will conquer at the end the European too. And here on the columns are represented Saint Dimitri, Mercury, and Saint George killing the dragon and fighting with the evil. And now I will move to the western side to show you the whole logic and all the symbols of building this. We are on the western side of the church. Here on the columns, on the superior part, you can see Jesus Christ, God, creating the world. Here creating Adam, then Eve, and on here are the animals created. Then Adam and Eve, the scene with the snake, and then they are getting out from heaven. And beneath between the columns, you can see the Last Judgment. So the beginning at the end of everything, and in between our road to meet God.
Entering inside of the church, one of the first icons, which is very important to see, is this one of Virgin Mary and baby Jesus on her chest. She is with the hands rise up. The icon is called Oranta. It's one of the first icons of the Christians, which was initially designed for the souls of the ancestors, which was praying for us from the world beyond. And here Virgin Mary, it was taking this role of praying for us all to God, together with her son. Passing through the narthex in front of the altar, one of the first images that you can see here, it's an icon which is not made by hand. It's the face, the head of Jesus Christ on the wall, which is placed on a very beautiful scarf, and above him, from the heaven, it's coming out the hand of God, keeping inside of it the souls of the good people. And to the right side are two saints, which are Saint Peter and Saint Paul, which initially are guiding the road to heaven. To the left side, you can see a man, a saint, which have in his hand a cup and a teaspoon, and in front of him another woman, another saint woman, which is Saint Mary the Egyptian. The icon is right here on the door of passing through the narthex, because her story it's like this. She was a very famous prostitute between 12 and 24 years old, and in a moment she was trying to enter into a church to see the Holy Cross of where Jesus Christ was crucified to. So trying to enter into the narthex of the church, an invisible force stopped her to enter, and she understands that because of her sins somebody is stopping her to let her inside of the narthex. So she was going in front of an icon of the Virgin Mary. She was praying to her and said, if you let me enter inside of the narthex to touch the Holy Cross, I promise you that I will giving up the life of a sin, which I have it till now, and I will go to the desert. She was coming back. She was she was allowed to enter into the narthex. She touched the Holy Cross. Then she bought two breads, and she crossed the river of the Jordan and was going to the desert, where she was lived for her entire life into a cave placed on a very high altitude, to not being able to get back to her sinful life. In the same time, the saint which is in front of her in this picture, Saint Zosima, it's receiving a message from God through the Archangel Gabriel, which told him to go into a monastery which was near the desert, and where the custom it was that all the monks have to go to the desert 40 days before Easter, like Jesus was, to spend the time there. During of his time in the desert, she met Mary the Egyptian, and when she saw him, said, I wait for you, Father Zosima, because God, I pray to God to send me a man to give me the Holy Communion, which I didn't receive it till now. So you can see him into the image, into the icon, giving her the Holy Communion with God, the bread and the wine. And he understands, talking to Mary the Egyptian, that he is in the presence of a saint. So they are talking to meet next year in the same place, and when he's coming, he found her dead, laid on the ground. In the same time, miraculously appeared the lion, which with his paws making a hole to be able to bury the Virgin, the Mary the Egyptian. The symbol of this painting, it's the next one. If you are ready to meet God, enter and be welcome. If you are not, go back work more to yourself, pray more, and then come back as she was coming back to God in the same way. Here on the top of the narthex, you can see the tower, and on the top of the tower, inside of the tower of the church that you saw it previously outside, you can see the icon of Jesus Christ Pantocrator, the protector of the world, being painted inside of the circle, which is architectonically speaking the tower. But the circle, it's symbolizing the heaven, because the circle, it means perfection, because it doesn't have the beginning and the end in the same time. The circle is placed on a square, which symbolize the earth, the four elements of the earth, the fire, the earth, the air, and the water. And that square is placed on another circle, a larger one of the tower, and that second circle is placed on another square, which have on the lateral sides, like a triangle, the images of four men depicted there, which are the four evangelists. And the meaning of this thing is the fact that like the four gospels are sustaining the Christian faith, in the same time as those four triangles, architectonically speaking, are sustaining the tower, the construction of the church. The next painting above that window, it represents the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. It's one of the best paintings that our painters, unknown painters from Romania, from Moldova, made it here in this church, equal as beauty and as perfection of the art with the ones with the painters from Kiev, which was the masters of the time in the Orthodox Byzantine the religious art. So Christ is crucified on the cross, and beneath him it's like a hill because it's about the hill of the skull, as was called Golgotha, and underneath the cross, on a black color found, it's a man with the hands of his head into an attitude of, oh my, what have I done? It's Adam, and the symbolic of this painting, it's the originary sin of Adam, which represents the Old Testament, and the crucifixion of Christ above him represents the new world of the New Testament, which starts with his sacrifice. Underneath and on the both sides of the window, you can see the images of the military saints, as they are called, like Saint Dimitri, Saint Mercury, Saint George, actually the saints which fought against the evil. The next important painting from the narthex, you can see it right now in front of you. It's that so-called the votive painting. It represents the prince Petru Rareș with the crown on his head, together with his wife and his children, offering the church to Jesus Christ. It's the image of the church of Moldovița. This painting, it's all the time on the same wall, representing the image of the founder, which actually offer the church to Christ. And the last important thing from the narthex is the image of the iconostasis, the image of the wall, which is between the nave of the church, and on the other side of this iconostasis is the altar of the church. Actually, it's like the curtain from the temple of Moses, which made the separation between our world and the world beyond, the world of God. It have three doors. The ones in the middle that you can see very beautiful carved are considered to be the doors of heaven, which are opened mostly and all the time during of the Saint Liturgy from Sunday morning and other important celebrations. I have on the both sides an icon, on the left an icon of Virgin Mary with baby Jesus, and to the right an icon of Christ preaching, and on the lateral doors are the images of Archangel Gabriel to the right and Archangel Michael to the left. Above, on the first level, in those circles, are the most important moments from the life of Jesus Christ, painted, starting from the far left with the Annunciation, then the birth of Christ, the baptism of Christ, the crucifixion, the resurrection, and the ascension of God. And one of the last images represents the ascension of his mother to heaven. On the second level above, in the middle, it's a large painting representing Christ on the throne as a judge. On his right side, Virgin Mary, his mother, and on his left side, John the Baptist, those two characters which saw his double nature of God and man. And on the last level in the middle, you can see in white to the right side, God Almighty, on the left, Jesus Christ, and in between, the dove, the Holy Ghost, so the Saint Trinity. Now we can go at the end of our tour.
Now that you saw the interior too and you listen all the stories, I hope you like it. And if you like it, give it a like, please, to this video to arrive to a large number of people. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be able to see the future videos that we'll post it here. Thank you very much for watching us, and we are waiting for you to come in Romania to see live with us as your guides all these beautiful things that we have in here. Thank you very much, and all good roads for you this year.